welcome to Encounters with Paranormal News. My name is Melissa. I'm one of the co-hosts, and I've been reading this book. I heard about this book actually through Facebook. It's called Backwoods Witchcraft, and it's about the Appalachian Mountains, which I've actually discussed in another Paranormal News, where people along that route are telling people to stay out of their national forest. Tons of people go missing and different things, so I've been kind of interested in learning more about that. And I found this book. I'm not done reading it yet, but there's some things that I want to talk about that I didn't know. They practice folk magic, and all the way from Canada to Alabama, each place has its own way of practicing, and that's what they're very much into, is like it's your own, it's what you make it, and each family and each culture is different. One thing, I highlighted it. So the Cherokee Society is kind of huge around Appalachia. So, and I learned how to say it correctly. It's not, and I forgot. There's a certain way to say it, Appalachia, and they know if you're part of Appalachia by the way you say it. I am not. I'm in Indiana. But Cherokee Society is kind of big along that route. They still, So the Cherokee have attained a population count west and east of 500,000 registered people, and a lot of them are working to keep their stories and language alive. Only about 3,000 still speak their native language, which I don't know how to say that. It's Tsalgi, fluently. So that's really interesting. However, when a man wanted marriage, he would have to build a woman a house. If she wanted a divorce, she would gather his things while he was out hunting and set them on the porch. She had to keep everything else, including the house and children. The same kind of structure is still in place in most Appalachian families. And then also, you know how headdresses are kind of big for, they're now, they're deemed inappropriate, but people would wear them to represent, kind of like Cherokee tribes. Historically, Cherokee never wore things like that. The men actually shaved their whole head, save for one braid in the back, usually adorned with a feather. So I thought that was interesting. They never actually wore headdresses. That's just something that white folk kind of deemed Cherokee. Also, another thing I learned, they used the Bible as a spell book. So this one man who writes it, Jake Richards, his grandmother, I'm trying to remember correctly, she would speak certain, I don't know what they're called in Bibles, and I was raised Catholic, and I don't remember, but passages during certain spells, like when she was making dinner or something was happening, but they believed everyone kept a Bible for a certain purpose. So a lot of them kept them to like put hair in from when children would get their hair cut. And if that family member passed and you got that Bible, you were to use it for the same purpose. They believe it's a cultural thing. If your ancestors were Christian, you were to continue that on. But they don't practice Christianity the way the rest of the world does. So it's just very interesting, and I'm learning more. The more I learn, the more videos I will make over this. It's so interesting. I'm just now getting into the stories. There's the Down Devil's Run, stories and superstitions. This one I just started reading, so I don't want to speak on it yet, but it's so interesting. So keep following, and more stories are soon to come. Otherwise, have a spooky day.